Cheerio!
Cheerio,
good
Mike.
Friends. It is your boy James and Denny.
Hello.
Here for 490.
Yep.
We will be drinking some White2Tea. Some ripe.
Cool. Let's
Civilian ripe. So
Nice.
mix it up. Usually Denny does most of the ripes on the show.
Yeah.
I do most of the raws, but today I will be doing a ripe.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might even see Denny doing a raw in the near future.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Definitely not next episode, though.
That looks like too much leaf, but we're going to go with it. Because it's yellow.
Ripe. Yeah. It's right. I mean, it's,
It's forgiving, yeah.
It is.
I would not do this with a raw.
No.
So this is one of their small batch ripes. I had this a couple times a few months ago, and I have no memory whatsoever of it. So, yeah.
Quite dark.
Part of the thing with having a young human in your life is your memory is not as good
God.
as it used to be.
Yeah.
Definitely the first person to ever make that observation.
It's remarkable, though, I have to say. Like, the sleep thing influencing cognition is so real. And maybe it's because we're in our 30s, but even then, like, even in college, staying up late or whatever, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now. And, oh, my Lord. Anyway.
Yeah, don't quiz us on TVB episodes because we don't know shit. We just film these things.
Yeah, this is purely a rescue caffeine at this point. Anyway, beautiful color, quite dark.
Yeah,
leaves.
Smell that.
Yeah, leaves looking almost pitch black. Lovely cherry. Medium roasty vibes in there. Some nutty nuts. Looking forward to this.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Huh. Interesting. It's one of those teas that's going to take a few steeps to really get a feel for.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little nuttiness on this first steep, kind of nuttiness, a little bit of vanilla sweetness.
Yeah. Not as much of the fruit thing in it.
No, not as much at all. Interesting.
It tastes quite fermented, to say. Yeah, interesting. Thin, but that's related to where we're at right now. Oh my God.
That's what I said. I think I might be using a little too much leaf.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like one of those sessions where you're like, man, you shouldn't split this into two. That'd be a bad idea. But for one, it's a lot. So
Yeah.
we just went
opposed.
all the way.
Yeah. Not like, earthy, not like a spicy desert earthy, bit more sticks and like leaves and, kind of your classic ripe, honestly.
Yeah. Nice aftertaste, too.
Yeah.
Like kind of nice syrupy and lingering. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Okay, weird. Yeah, it's
intense.
This is definitely one, I can already tell this is like going to be one that's like, get your ripe fans together or people that are into tea and drink it rather than like a very casual tea.
Right. Yeah.
Because this one is, because I forgot my other two sessions, this one's going to take a few steeps to figure out, I think.
I like it though, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, mom test so far?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It doesn't taste very sweet initially, but the sweetness kind of comes like a couple seconds later.
It's very
interesting.
yeah. So I'm wondering if it's because it's so much leaf. It's quite potent, but it's very smooth.
Yeah, I wondered the same. Yeah, it very well might be something like that.
I like ripe like this, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to, kind of making it strong. Especially a tea like this where I really can manage it. And it will kind of not die off, but it will graduate to the softer notes in the steepings. So a steeping method like this, where we're using maybe a bit too much leaf, you're just going to skip over a lot of the high notes that would take you steepings 1 and 2 to get to. and then go kind of straight into like that third steeping from the get-go. But then you come back to those softer notes. So it's almost just the sort of different dynamic of the tea itself.
Yeah.
But it's lovely.
Yeah, it just peaks a little faster, and then we'll probably go a little longer and then come down, and then you'll see those notes.
Yeah. Really beautiful liqueur. Here you go. Cheers.
Cheerio.
Getting a bit more cherry now. It's quite nice. Ultralight test, not like this.
Too complex, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like you could, but it might just blend in with other ripes in kind of a bad way.
A bit more of the vanilla.
Yeah, I'm getting that. For me, it's still kind of in that one like vanilla nutty vein.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like some cashews or something like that.
Yeah, totally. In terms of ripes, we're still getting into it, but how would you place this for sort of like newbie ripe drinker who hasn't had a large kind of tested the spectrum of ripes versus someone who's a lot more familiar with drinking ripes?
I think it's definitely good for someone that's familiar with drinking ripes. I think a newbie could enjoy this too.
Yeah.
But I would say don't make this your first ripe. Make it like your 10th.
Yeah.
Like, once you've had a handful of them, then this tea might be nice just because you're like, okay, what is these fancier ripes about? This one, I think, can show you a little bit about kind of some of the appeals there and some of the ways that this tea is different from others. But I do feel like a lot of the appeal of this is to contrast it with, like, more normie ripes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is not as offensive as normie whites. To be clear.
See our last episode. No, it's
better to never bring black tea into the show.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, no, I mean, really quite tasty, and it's like hard to describe what about this is a little bit elevated, but it's just a little bit nicer. It's almost like I hate describing things in negative terms, but it's lacking a lot of the things that you would kind of get from a little bit of a cheaper ripe. Sometimes you can get a little bit too much of a fermented storage taste. It can almost be fishy sometimes if it's been stored super hot. There can just be lack of complexity.
Yeah.
This it's nice. It feels very like in the core of the ripe category to me.
Yeah.
But quite pleasant, and the lasting residual flavor is really lovely.
Yeah. I would say the two places where this stands out for me are texture and aftertaste. And like that kind of residual flavor Denny's talking about, definitely kind of in that aftertaste category. And then the texture of it's just a little bit different. And certainly one that leans heavily into its kind of complexity.
Warming.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheerio.
Oh, it's getting really good.
And one sort of like that Iwu white tea we'd expect to last a bit longer than your average ripe.
Yeah, this is quite dark. Not only is the liqueur dark because we're using a lot of leaf, the actual material itself is quite dark. It's quite fermented. And you can see the actual color being dark corresponding to the liqueur, corresponding to some of the flavors.
Yeah. Let's do one more.
It's really nice, really drinkable. Really drinkable.
High standards.
Fire me.
Yeah. So where would you put this kind of, since we've now made this kind of a regular question, where would you put this in like a lineup of teas where you're drinking?
I still would put it... Good question. Maybe after a young Iwu, greener, sweeter, but still earthy flavors, but a bit more elevated. This has a bit more deeper, like basier flavors. I would still put this way before your classic, just good old-fashioned old ripes, raws, So towards the end of a session, if you were going to do a bunch of different teas, definitely after your oolongs, after some of those more floral, sweet.
What about versus like a normal ripe? Before or after?
After.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it would be hard to come back to subtler flavors after drinking something that's this potent. And I don't think it's a matter of the brewing parameters as much. It's really, if you just look at the leaves themselves, they're really pitch black. You can barely see any kind of brown oxidation in them at this point still. They really have aged through quite a bit. Definitely the sweet spot in this tea, in my opinion. Do we know the age of this?
Is 2023 pressing.
Oh, wow.
The material
Okay.
could be earlier.
Huh.
Just with how they press it. So
Wow.
hard to say.
Yeah, I'm
not
surprised.
old at all.
Yeah, interesting.
Cheers.
Cheers. Really punchy still. A bit more vanilla, but strong. I like it.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think this is definitely a ripe tea drinker's tea. I would not start with something like this.
Yeah.
Not that it's not going to describe the category well. It's just like a little bit more abrasive than, something that's a bit cheaper, honestly.
Yeah. I'm always curious about these sort of fancier ripes too, and we don't have someone that's like not a ripe drinker around to ask them this question, but like someone that mostly drinks raws and definitely a Pu'erh drinker, but really stays like 90% in the raws, which I think is actually a good deal of drinkers. But I'm curious how they would interpret something like this.
Yeah.
If they would kind of get on board with it, or they'd be like, no, it's like kind of this whole different palette that I'm not sure about.
Yeah, interesting question. This one has enough of the bassy, deep, earthy, intense, almost abrasive flavors that you can get from raws, especially kind of a young, intense one. So I could see raw drinkers really enjoying something like this, frankly. Yeah. And yeah, I'm curious to see how this ages out actually, given that it's so young. Because I wonder if it will mellow out. I like it like it is right now, honestly. I think it's really tasty. So, White2Tea, give them a shot. Google them. What was this one called again?
Civilian. Who knows why?
Cool. But yeah, I'd recommend this. I think it's tasty.
No, I agree. I think it's very complex. I don't think it's that subtle either. So I think you don't have to search super hard to find the kind of the appeal of it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Google them. Google tdb.org. Don't Google it. Just type it into the URL search bar thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you want. Send this to your favorite butterfly poacher. They're everywhere. Give them a shout.
God, you are the best at going viral.
I am. It's all part of marketing,
The
guys.
Denny School. We're chapter 72, the butterfly poulter chapter.
It's huge.
I swear I'm going to unlock the secrets.
So
by
close
my
to breaking
ebook
it.
now.
Yeah, just trying to get those. Yeah, we're doing a collab in the future with butterfly people. So until then, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Cheers to the 72 subscribers to butterfly people. Wu-Tang! Peace!